Preparing to stream. I think we're streaming. Hold on.
Now it does.
Okay, yeah, so we are streaming now. You got notified. Hey guys, we're getting ready to go live here, so bear with us. This is again, we're doing a new system here, so understand that we're just going to do the best we can with all this.
That's
so
right.
We're not perfect, but we're going to try to find the stream here so we can read comments. So give us a second. I'm trying to bring that up. And here it is. So there you go. We're live over here. Let's go to Captain Rickster. Go to you.
Definitely live right at the moment.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share this out, Captain Rickster, so it's on all of our media.
Right.
Let me copy the link while we're doing that. You go ahead and talk to everybody.
Okay. How's everybody out there? Hope everybody's doing a good job today. I hope everybody having a nice, good weekend. Hope everybody saw Star Wars, the new Rise of Skywalker. That was actually really good. We're going to talk about it today. Plus the new Mandalorian. Can't even speak straight.
It's okay. Keep going.
It'll be the first time now.
Right.
Yeah, I hope everybody, had a great holiday. Hope everybody has a good holidays coming New Year's, and New Year's is going to be great for everybody.
It is.
2020. That's what I hope everybody has, and keep watching our podcast every week, and we will go live. Come to us and watch us, and tell your friends and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're moving everything more over to YouTube.
That's what we're trying to do
now. So, we need you guys to just accept that we're going to be over up here on YouTube, and we love you guys and everything, but we got to do this on YouTube because we can reach more people when we're on YouTube, and that's
definitely true.
That's some of the things we've been talking about. So that's
we're also talking about going to Disneyland at the Galaxy's Edge and do our broadcast on there on Saturday and all our reviews and do everything at the same time.
Right.
Killing two birds with one stone.
That's correct. Yeah. So. That's a good thing to announce here that we're going to be starting to do. When we do our podcast, we're going to actually start doing everything from Galaxy's Edge, even the podcast itself.
Yes.
The podcast itself, we're going to actually do from Galaxy's Edge, which is going to be great. So when we do the podcast like we're doing now, we're going to do that on Saturday from Galaxy's Edge. So we're going to be like the first. I think we're going to be the only podcast is doing it from Galaxy's Edge, if I remember correctly.
We will be, yes. But I don't know if anybody else who does that.
No, I don't know either, buddy.
No, but we're trying to get everything here hooked up and corrected and make sure everything is in sync. So when we're talking, everything lips move, everything comes out the same, and
right.
You know how that goes. Sometimes it's just technology.
Yeah, it's technology. We're waiting right now for people to propagate over from Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's what we're waiting for now.
Hopefully everybody will come up to YouTube like they're supposed to, and we can have a great time and do this broadcast. We have a lot to talk about for the news. The news is coming out and all this stuff, and we've watched quite a few other good videos.
Right.
On Netflix and also on Disney Stream, and so.
Yep, that's true. So it looks like we got a few people that are watching right now. Let's we're gonna go get started here in a few seconds, everybody. But we're just kind of waiting for everybody to come on board. If you can, say hi over here in the chat over here. Let us know you're here, because we're gonna start recording the actual podcast part of it here in a second. So go ahead, Rickster.
If you noticed, we're kind of not in sync with everything.
We can't go by that. That's not what they're seeing. They're seeing this right here. They're not going to see. That's behind us, Captain. Okay. Don't go by that screen. Okay. He's confused because he's seeing there's a lag on the actual podcast part of it. So he's seeing that right now. So he thinks that it may not be in sync. But hey, everybody, let us know. Are we in sync right now? Are our voices matching up? We have a lag on the computer in front of us, but don't go by that. Go by our cameras.
Okay, well, I would look at the camera. I mean, when you get my age, you get confused a little bit.
Well, I hope you're wrong. I hope that I hope it is synced up. It looks like it's synced up on our cameras, though.
Well, it is. Okay. And there is nice. We're doing a great job here on the cameras, but
right.
I just missing up on things. You're looking at this stupid computer.
Yeah. Don't look at your screen in front of you because that will look like it's not synced up.
That's definitely true. So.
Okay, so now we got 4 people watching. So people are starting to come over. Hey, everybody, welcome to the All for Sci-Fi YouTube podcast.
Yep.
This is our last podcast of the year.
Yes, it is.
This is episode 28. It's the last episode of the season.
We've got 28 good episodes so far this year, so, we're going to do our best for next year. We're going to get more out there and get more intent and stuff that we need to put out there and show you. People that if you can't go to places where we can go,
right?
We're going to be able to bring it to you live via YouTube,
right?
To be able to see what we're doing,
right? At the live place, they just joined us. Hey, at the live place, they say, "Hi guys, it looks like a pretty good match. I'm sitting at a hospital with my. Oh, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and you scare me when you say you're at the hospital.
You got that right.
But thanks for chiming in and letting Captain Rickster and I know that we are in sync.
Good, thank you.
So we appreciate that because we have a lag on our feed where we're reading the comments.
Right.
Is what it is.
Hopefully we can get more people over here. We can read their comments and stuff like that.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
And
well,
we'll share all the links and stuff that we need to share and to everybody to get on there.
Right.
So.
Okay. So I'm gonna share it one more time with everybody on Facebook. So I'm gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna share it on Facebook, and if people don't cross over, that's too bad because we're moving everything over to YouTube because YouTube is a place to be. We have more of a cross section of people on YouTube, including at the live place. We appreciate everything you're doing at the live place, Captain Rickster. They basically on YouTube they share our feed.
Oh, cool! That's
great.
So
they're actually sharing with the world who we are, what we're doing with their listeners, and we welcome them.
Yeah, and I thank you for that too, and also.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get the actual show started. So let's go ahead and start the show, everybody.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The live place says yes, it's getting better now. Thanks. He has influenza.
Oh, that's not good.
That's Well, I hope
you get a lot better because I know that's.
Me too, guys.
Really bad.
Yeah. Really hope you get better.
Make sure you drink a lot of water.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and get the show started. Okay. So I'm just letting everybody know I'm starting now. We waited long enough, so if you guys missed this podcast, there's nothing I can do about it.
That's true.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll in the opening. Here we go, guys. We'll be right back after the opening. Here we go. I don't know if they could hear this or not. Presentation is part of the All for Sci-Fi Podcast Network.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
If you only knew the power of the dark side, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He never did, you bad boy. He told me Rick killed him. Yeah, Rick. You are not my father, Darth Vader.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, here we go.
The needs of the many outweigh
The needs of the few.
for the one. Do or do not.
There is no try. Okay, guys, we're getting it started here.
Prosper.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Okay, everybody, here we go. We're getting started. Captain Rickster. Hey, everybody. Have fun storming the castle. Okay, guys, we're just coming back, everybody. Thank you, everybody for joining us. Everybody, I'm your host, Eric Walker, and sitting next to me is...
Captain Rickster.
Hey, Captain Rickster. Welcome, everybody, to the All for Sci-Fi podcast. Today is Saturday, December 28th, and it's 2019. It is our very last episode. It's episode 28 of our very first season, guys.
Yes,
Round of applause. Our first season is up. Yay. So this is the end of our first season, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody.
Right.
And everybody is starting to cross over from Facebook. We thank you, everybody. Hi, Virginia. Virginia's here, everybody. Say hi to Virginia.
How you doing, Virginia?
Virginia is our admin at All for Sci-Fi. We love her very much. She does a lot of work for us.
Yes, she does. Hope you had a great Christmas.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Rickster.
Hey.
What's going on, dude?
Yeah, you don't know. It's just another day in paradise.
Okay, whatever you do, don't go by what you're seeing above you. So.
I'm not. I just want to see who's writing.
Yeah, there you go. Hey.
And I still can't see him.
Well, Virginia says hi, Captain Rickster.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. So, guys, let us know if there's a sync problem. If our voices are not matching our mouths, please let us know.
Oh, yes, please.
So, yeah, and at the live place, they say, hey, Captain Rickster, as well. So,
I am here.
Okay, everybody. So today we're going to talk about, today is a very special show. We're going to talk about The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9.
Oh,
Yes!
Oh, yes.
And we're going to talk about The Mandalorian, Episode 8, Chapter 8, Redemption.
Oh, yes.
And if you could tell, my voice today sounds like I'm with Darth Vader, because it's like I'm getting a cold or something.
Yeah, she's on the dark side today.
Yeah, I am on the dark side. They say your mic's a little low, probably because it's taking up the mic from... Let me move this up here so it's up higher, so maybe I could grab his sound more too as well. But
okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, maybe
speak up a little bit.
Maybe speak up a little bit louder. Maybe I'm not talking loud enough.
Yeah, well, you could sit back a little bit. I don't mind if you do. If you need to speak up, just sit back a little bit, Captain Rickster. So.
Okay, well, I don't want to sit over the mic. I mean, maybe that's my problem.
Well, this mic is capturing our audio podcast for the mic.
Yes, it is.
But the mic's for the camera. Yours is right. Mine is right here on my camera.
Right.
And yours is right over here on your camera.
Right.
So that's the mic it's picking up. So it might be a little low, guys, but yeah.
Sorry about that.
Hey, it's okay if they're off a little bit. We're trying the best we can. This is a new system. We'll get we'll get it worked out in time.
Yes, we will.
But let's go ahead and get started with the final episode of season 1. Season 1 of The Mandalorian, the final episode, chapter 8. We're going to talk about that. But before we do that, right before we had the final episode of The Mandalorian, we had a very special event in Dallas, Texas. We were at Order 66 Toys.
Yes, we were.
And let's go ahead and talk about Order 66 Toys. Order 66 Toys is the official sponsor of All for Sci-Fi.
Yes, it is.
So we love you guys out there at Order 66 Toys in Dallas. We love everybody out there, Josh, Robbie, Heather, Tim, Bobby. We love all of you guys out there. Thank you very much for helping sponsor All for Sci-Fi.
And thank you for having us out there also.
Yeah, it was a great event. We had a really, really good time. And it was very special because there were 6 Star Wars actors out there. Not just myself, but there was 6 of us out there, including Dominic Pace from The Mandalorian episodes 1 and 3. He plays Gecko, the bounty hunter.
Yes.
Real bad, I can't say the word because we're a PG show, bad with the A word.
Yes, don't definitely.
Yeah. So, he's just, wow, that guy is really a great character.
Yeah.
So he was there along with Mike Quinn, who was in The Rise of Skywalker. He played Nine Numb.
Right.
And we also had Felix Sela, who is the hang glider Ewok, and Mark Dotson, who does the voice of Salacious Crumb, and Teak, the Ewok, and Ewoks Battle for Endor. Right. And who was the last one? Stephen Constantino, yes, my brother, my fellow musician here, Stephen. We got to get together and make some tracks. Yeah. Stephen played a Gamorrean guard in Return of the Jedi. So that was great having everybody out there. And I know, Steven, we're going to be making great music this year in 2020.
You know what was nice though is we had different people, different actors from different segments of Star Wars.
Yes, that was great. Yeah, we did. We had different. Everybody was representing from all over Star Wars, and that's what we liked about being there at Order 66. But it was capped off with the they did two screenings, two private screenings at the same time of The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yes.
They had a light theater, which was blue, and then they also had a dark side, which was red.
Oh yes.
So they went all out, and it was really cool.
Oh yes, it was.
And we before the showing of The Rise of Skywalker, we got a chance to do a question and answer period. So we did that.
That was good too.
Yeah, we did that. So we had a lot of fun doing that, answering questions that the audience had. They did a trivia contest as well.
Right.
So that was
and gave away prizes and stuff for the people who won.
Yeah, they did that. They gave away prizes. All that stuff was great.
Oh,
so
of course.
yeah, and it was a great event. So thank you very much, Order 66 Toys, for sponsoring, having All for Sci-Fi out there, and sponsoring our show. Remember, when you're on Facebook, type in Order 66 Toys, find them on Facebook, because every Friday night, they have a Friday night live sale. It's out of this world.
Oh, yes,
and also, I got to mention another community. We're part of the community of Star Wars collectors.
Yes, we are.
That's a CSWC with Mr. Steve Spoltor. So we're all one big happy community, and that's what Star Wars is about for me. It's about family, community, coming together, helping each other, and it's because of Mr. Steve Spoltor that all that started. Thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate and love you as well. Thank you for sponsoring All for Sci-Fi and being one of our sponsors too. And we sponsor the community of Star Wars collectors, and they sponsor us. So remember, on Facebook, join the community of Star Wars collectors at the CSWC. That's about it. Oh, also, we are now the live place is a website. It's called theliveplace.com, and they actually share all the podcasts that stream live on YouTube. And we're happy that they're sharing our schedule now, so we're on their schedule. Thank you very much at the live place for doing that.
Yes, great, thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. We're talking about The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, what an excellent movie. Oh my God, it was great. It was just so unbelievable. I mean, I sit back there in my seat. I enjoyed it. There was even parts of that movie that I got in my seat a little closer up just to see what was really going on. Just so like all the anticipation that was in it, that was so great.
No, it was. And before we get into like a full breakdown of The Rise of Skywalker, let's go ahead and give its official rating. Here at All for Sci-Fi, we have a 0 to 5 rating scale. If it's 3 or below a rating, we tell you don't go watch it. It's not worth watching.
That's definitely
If
true.
it's higher than 3, then it's a recommendation from us to go and watch it.
Right.
Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to give it the official rating, Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to give The Rise of Skywalker 5 stars.
Ooh, yes, I do agree on that one also.
Wait a minute here. You agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you on that. Actually, I would give it more, but we don't go any higher. Sorry.
You're right. We don't go higher. Otherwise, I would.
Yes.
For me, The Rise of Skywalker, there's only one that's better than that, and that's because of my childhood. I think that The Empire Strikes Back, to me, is still my number one Star Wars movie. But The Rise of Skywalker is my second favorite movie of all 9 movies. What about you?
That's the same with me. Mine would be The New Hope. That was the very first one that came out in 1977.
Very good. Yes, I agree. You know, I'm gonna still let Rise of Skywalker edge it out, but it's almost a tie. I would put New Hope third, my third favorite.
Well, your third favorite.
Yes.
My first. Actually, it'd be a tie for number in first place would be both.
Okay.
The New Hope and also the Rise of Skywalker. That would be my 2 number 1 favorite choices right there for all 9 movies.
Okay, fair. Yeah, okay, that's great. Going back to YouTube, let's see what people are saying. Let's chime in. Rick, they're still saying your mic's kind of low, so speak up a little bit more.
Right,
but it's okay. Let me see here. Virginia will give it 5 stars.
All right,
Virginia. Okay. She and Dave Staggs also gives it 5 stars.
That's great.
Okay. And everybody seems to be liking The Rise of Skywalker. By far, I knew JJ, I knew you were going to bring it home. Thank you very much for what you did. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy, as well, for helping produce these movies.
That's right.
And at the live place, going back to YouTube Live, the live place is saying he doesn't think anything could top 4 and 5 for him. But episode 9 was a great way to finish. He gives it a 4.5 star rating.
Okay. Well, yeah, everybody has their own opinion.
Well, and that's great. That's why we like sharing stuff like that. That way, we could all share our own opinions, and that's why we're here.
Well, there was rumor they would make a 2-parter out of it, a 2-part movie like they did Harry Potter and Twilight, but JJ didn't want to do that. I wonder how much he left cut on the floor. So hopefully when they do an uncut version of the Rise of Skywalker, I would love to see what the rest of
I think you're right. They should have. The Rise of Skywalker would have been even better if it was a 2-part episode. Yeah. And they did cut a lot out of this movie. Virginia was happy when she saw the Ewoks at the end of the movie. Virginia, what I thought was cool too was it wasn't just Wicket that was with him. It was Wicket's. I don't know the name of the other Ewok, but that Ewok was played by Harrison Davis, who is Warwick Davis's son.
Right.
So it's great to see, Warwick, that your son got in an Ewok costume just where you started your career. That is so awesome that they were able to do that, and we're happy we saw Wicket back, and also your son got to put on an Ewok costume as well. Speaking of that, Captain Rickster, The Rise of Skywalker had a lot of Easter eggs.
It had a lot of Easter eggs in that movie, but it took place and it put all the pieces together that 1 through 8 left holes in, and so that's why I like it the most. I mean, it's because it filled in the holes.
It did. But I mean, we're talking Easter egg after Easter egg. I know at one point, okay, if you guys have not seen The Rise of Skywalker, at this point, we're not going to start speaking about the movie and spoilers. So go ahead and pause and come back to this live podcast later if you're listening to it or watching it live. Cover your ears. I hope everybody's seen it by now.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a week.
Yeah, so everybody's had a chance worldwide to see it. So let's go ahead and talk about that. I heard when Rey at the end of the movie and they kept telling her to stand up. Remember all the 1,000 Jedis was speaking to her?
Oh yeah.
I heard Ahsoka Tano's voice in that, who is a Jedi.
Jedi, yeah.
I heard her voice. Did you also catch the cameo by John Williams?
Yes, I did.
Yes, the maestro, Mr. John Williams. Of course, I would notice that. He was when they went to go to Babu Freaks to get the information out of C-3PO.
Right. Yeah.
When they were in the bar, the guy who was at the bar was John Williams.
Yes, it was.
So that was cool.
Yes, it was.
What else?
There was a lot of actors in there that were Easter eggs that you hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
I've caught a couple of them. I don't know their names, but I did catch a couple of them there who played in previous Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah. And you know what? To be fair, I missed the John Williams one the first time I saw it. It's really quick. It's only like 2 or 3 seconds.
Right.
And it's when they're like going through the bar to go meet Baba Freak. You'll see the bartender, and he has his white beard. So yeah. That Mr. John Williams was in it, and it's the first time he was in it the entire time, all 9 episodes.
Right.
He had to get in there just like Stan Lee, so that was cool.
That's true.
And how about the Rise of Skywalker soundtrack? This was to me some of the best work that I've heard since he started it.
Yeah, no kidding. It was really great.
It was, and let me see what else. Okay, well, basically the movie takes place about a year after the last events in The Last Jedi.
Right.
And there's been a lot of talk about fan service with this episode, and I don't care. We need the fan service. We needed to see everything we saw. We needed everything to be broken down, and the kissing scene with Rey did not bother me. It bothered some people.
Yeah, it did.
But did it bother you?
No, it didn't. No.
because it was more like to me, it wasn't like a kiss where like they were passionately in love, but they loved each other. Not like it's not like a romantic kiss.
No, it wasn't like a boyfriend and girlfriend kiss or a husband and wife kiss. No.
Yeah, it was like a release of energy type kiss. Okay, and yeah, so it starts off about a year or so afterwards, and on the opening crawl, the first line is "The dead speak."
Yes.
And they're talking about there's been this message that's been broadcast to the entire galaxy. It is a message from Emperor Palpatine.
Yes.
And he's come back alive. Apparently, he didn't die, and he's starting what he calls the Final Order, which is basically him and a bunch of ships.
Yeah, a lot of ships.
Yeah. And we as it continues, we find that Luke Skywalker was trying to find a way to the Sith homeworld Exegol,
Right.
and he was trying to find it with another Jedi. And we later find out when Lando Calrissian comes that he was helping Luke this whole time.
Right.
And I thought that was just cool. That was.
Fortunately, he's not a Jedi, but it was pretty cool.
No, it was cool that he was still hanging out with Luke, and helping him. So they go and here's another Easter egg. If you guys didn't catch it, when they went to the planet to find out for more information, they found the C-3PO says that the festival that they're having happens only every 42 years, which means what, Captain Rickster?
That means it took 42 years to get number 9 out.
No, you're funny, dude. You mean it's the 42nd anniversary of A New Hope?
Right.
Okay. You said that kind of strange. That's okay.
Well, what can I say?
Okay, guys. So, while they're there, they have the scene that almost broke my heart happen.
Oh,
and I almost died because,
that was really bad.
Yeah. What happens is she's trying to hold the transport ship back that has Chewbacca on it, and Kylo Ren comes out, and they're fighting, trying to use the Force back and forth, and she gets so excited that she, for the first time without knowing it, she does this thing with Force lightning, and she blows up the transport ship.
Oh, yes.
And we all think Chewbacca's on it.
Yes.
And I was screaming, "Damn you, JJ, don't you dare kill my Chewbacca."
Yeah, boy, I lost my heart on that one.
But we soon find out that he was on the other ship. And when I saw it a second time, I did see the other ship. The first time, I didn't notice there were two ships there. The first time I viewed it. But the second time I viewed it, I did see two ships there, which is great.
I'll go back and see it again myself.
Yeah, there's two ships there. When you see, and this movie, again, it's they cram too much into it, really. So.
Oh yeah, they try to take a lot. You have eight of the movies out there.
Right.
They're trying to patch all the holes up that were left from the other 8 into one movie, and it doesn't work half the time. But that's why they crammed a lot of it in there. He did a good job. Whoever did the editing did a great job of cutting everything in there and putting everything in like it's supposed to. But I still believe in myself it should have been 4 hours, not 2 hours.
Yeah,
2-parter.
Yeah. It like we said earlier in the podcast, they had actually at one moment considered making this a 2-parter for a brief second.
Yes.
From what I heard, and they should have. It was just too much in one episode. Okay, so they're on the planet. We think Chewbacca has been destroyed. We quickly find out he's okay.
Yes.
But they
don't know that.
No, they don't know it. So what they do, it didn't take them long to find out, though.
No, it didn't.
What happens is after they go to the other planet and we find out that Finn was a spice runner.
Right. Really,
yeah. And not Finn. Not Finn. Finn does the joking about him being a spice runner. It's Poe. We find out that here I am, guys, bad with names.
As usual.
So her name is Devaney, right, Virginia? Devaney. Okay, I'm terrible with names, but I try, guys. I'm trying to get better at this. Okay, so we find out that Poe was a spice runner, and we meet his his cohort Zori Bliss,
Right.
who's played by Kerry Russell. Oh, gotta love Kerry Russell.
Yes.
And she gets to play Zori Bliss, a new character that we all love. So they went to that planet because Poe knows Babu Freak, who could. What happens is they have a knife. They find a knife on that planet that has Sith writing on it, and on the Sith writing, C-3PO reads it, but his programming will not allow him to translate Sith because he's been programmed that he can't translate the Sith language. So that's why they go to find a little bit more about Poe's past, and we go to the other planet, and we meet Zori Bliss and Babu Freak, and we have the scene from the trailer that made everybody really emotional. The scene where C-3PO says, "I just want to take one moment to look at my friends."
Oh yes. One last
and
look.
one last look at my friends. What an emotional moment.
That was.
So okay. So they get it. They find out that the wavefinder, it's a Sith wavefinder, that there's another one on the planet in the Endor system on the forest moon of Endor, where the last war ended, of course, with Return of the Jedi. So they got to go to the forest moon of Endor to get the wavefinder. They get there, they find it. Another battle happens between Kylo Ren and Rey. And in between all this, we've left a lot out, guys. There's so much in this movie.
Oh, yes.
But we also left out some training that Rey's doing with Leia, which I thought was awesome to see that Leia is training Rey. And when she says, "Yes, Master,"
yes,
she calls Leia a master, like she's a Jedi master. That was so awesome. Yeah. And we find out that Leia really did train with Luke this whole time. Her brother trained her this entire time. And that was really exciting to see all that happen. You see them as young, her last training to become a Jedi. So we know that Leia became a Jedi. Right. And they really brought a lot of the expanded universe finally back into canon. It was so awesome, this movie.
Yes, it was.
I just, I could just go on and on and on. Okay, so they go there, they find the Wavefinder. Kylo shows up before they battle, and he destroys the Wavefinder and says, "You got to go with me."
Yes.
And right as they're battling on the ship, they're having this really intense battle between Rey and Kylo Ren. And of course, Finn tries to intervene with help Rey, but she throws him away, stay away. But Leia uses the Force.
Oh, yes.
To reach Ben.
Yep.
And that distracts Kylo Ren, Ben, and Rey wins the battle, gets him with his own saber.
Yep.
Then she heals him.
At the same time.
At the same time, we find out that they are a dyad in the Force.
Yes.
Rey and Ben are a dyad that's only seen in like 1,000 generations.
Right. That's true.
And when Leia's able to use the last bit of her strength to reach Ben, right after that, she dies.
Yes.
And
he feels it in the Force.
He feels it, and guess what? His dad shows up, Han Solo.
That was cool.
I did not think that Harrison Ford was going to show up, but the part that really got to me was when Ben says, "Dad," and he's about ready to say, "I love you," and
yes, I know.
I know, that's what he said, I know. That part really got to me. And, of course, all the people are chiming in. Like, the last half of the movie was so emotional. You just were crying and bawling like a baby. Maybe Rick wasn't.
Well, no, someone's got to, be, not so credible.
Yeah, somebody's got to, keep it together, right, Captain Rickster? Yeah. And it just was and then, of course, she heals Ben, and she jumps in his TIE fighter and takes off. Yep. So she leaves him stranded. So she goes off to go. She finds out that she is, guess what? Rey is. Her parents are not a nobody.
That's right.
We find out that Rey is a Palpatine, and she is Palpatine's granddaughter. Yep. Talk about twist, JJ.
Real good twist.
Thank you. Wow, what a twist. So
What a surprise too on that twist.
it was. I know there were a lot of rumors that she might be a Palpatine, and I don't want to give any credence to the guy last name Zero, who throws everything, including the kitchen sink, at everybody. Don't click. Don't listen to Mike Zero. Don't click on his stuff. Don't make him so popular because I mean he's got to make a living, but I think his stuff is clickbait, and I don't like that kind of stuff. So. Yeah. Okay, so she goes back to Exegol with the Kylo Ren's TIE fighter, and she then confronts her grandfather, and he says, "I wanted you here all along. I didn't want to kill you. I wanted you to become the Empress."
That's right.
And take your rightful, And she went on and on about how he's like mad dogging his children, saying her parents were weak. Well, that's your son, dude. You're calling weak.
That's right.
So I don't. I think to me, his son was stronger by hiding Rey from the grandfather.
That's definitely true. He did. He was real smart in that part of the decision making between he and his wife to leave her behind and have her well protected so the grandfather couldn't find her.
Yeah. So that to me, all that stuff to me made for a great thing, and of course, everybody shows up and they have this big battle where they're trying to take out so they can't lift off and go destroy more worlds. And between this, one of them, to show what they could do now with their fleet, Palpatine takes one of the ships out and destroys a whole planet. Yes. The planet that they were just on with Zori Bliss and Babu Frik. So we think Zori Bliss and Babu Frik are gone.
Yeah, so that was a surprise on that one there. So I mean. Yeah.
So we thought
we couldn't imagine when we saw it near the end of the movie that we saw other people there that we thought were already dead and stuff like that. So JJ put another twist there on that one for an Easter egg.
He did, and that's great that he did that. So
yes, he did.
So anyway, so they're trying to take out the fleet. Show up there and they discover their plan. So and they move the signal to another command ship instead of using the one on the ground.
That's right.
And so now they got to land. Now he explains why they jumped on with the horses on the battleship. You sank my battleship. That's not a battleship. Right. The Star Destroyer. Yeah, Star Destroyer. So that's why the horses were there, and they were fighting with the Sith and doing all that stuff, and that explains it. And they weren't in outer space, guys. Everybody goes on, how are they doing this? They were on the planet still in the atmosphere.
Yeah, so they were so brave, they were in their air and stuff. So if you were in space, you wouldn't be able to breathe. You'd all be dead in a heartbeat.
Right. Sure. Okay, coming back to YouTube Live, everybody. We've been talking a lot about the rise of Skywalker. I wanted to look at some of the comments people were talking about. Hey, Dante's joined us. Hey, Dante, welcome to the podcast. Yes. Virginia says, hey, Eric and Rexter, what do you think about when Finn said to Rey, I have something to tell you, but never told you? What do you think he meant? I think he was going to tell Rey that he loved her.
That's my feeling, too. But he never did actually tell. Not until he pretty much showed it at the end of the movie.
Right. I think that he wanted to let her know that how much she meant to him.
Right.
And was it a relationship kind of love, Captain Rickster, or you think it's just a friendship love?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think friendship and he wanted a relationship with her.
Right. Okay.
So that's my opinion.
Right. Okay.
I could be wrong.
That's fair enough. Okay, so at the end of the movie, they're stuck and they're fighting, and then Kylo, who's now Ben, because he threw it away. Now I'm going to refer to him as Ben. Mm-hmm. Ben he's surrounded by the Knights of Ren, and he doesn't have anything to protect him, so they're beating the crap out of him. And Rey, who had a scene with Luke, by the way. We skipped over this. There's so much in this movie, guys. We're missing stuff. So she had a scene before she even went to confront her grandfather with Luke. Right. And Luke told her that he knew, and Leia knew she was a Palpatine the whole time, but Leia still trained her.
That's right.
How awesome is that? Because Leia saw her heart.
And she had a good heart, not a mean heart.
Right. So Leia had no problem at all training her. So She was kind of shocked.
Well, of course she was.
So, anyways, okay, back to. I'm trying not to leave any out, but there's so much in this movie. That's why it should have been 2 movies.
Yeah.
So they're back there, and Ben is getting beat up, but Luke told Rey to take 2 lightsabers.
Right.
Because Luke knew that they were dyads. I think he knew that too.
Yes, he did.
And so when she takes one of them, wait a minute, our stream just went offline.
Yeah,
okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay, it went back online. Is it back? Are we back, guys? Hold on.
Hopefully we are back.
Let's wait a few seconds, guys, and see if it comes back up. Okay. Are we back? Oh, it's hard to tell.
Yes, we're back now.
Okay, we're back. Okay. Okay, so we're having issues with the stream, guys. Let's hope this cleans up.
Yeah, real quick, Lark.
We're waiting for everybody to come back. We're waiting until we know the stream is back. Guys, let us know when the stream comes back in the comments, please. We're pausing everybody till we know that everybody's back. Okay, guys, are we back? It's real hard to tell with this. I don't know how long this thing goes out or how we're doing it. Okay, so I think we might be back, Captain Rickster.
I think so,
but let me just refresh this one thing real quick up here with the comments. Let me see if it still says we're streaming. There's 4 people watching right now. Maybe we're back. Okay, guys. We're having issues with our stream, guys. Give us a few seconds, please. There's a little bit of a lag. Hey, are you still there, guys? Say something over here in the comments. Okay, we're back. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, we're gonna get started now. Back. Okay. So the people are back. Okay. So guys, I apologize for that. I don't know why that just disappeared like that. So sometimes there's issues with the stream. So where we left off is Luke. We think Luke knew there were a dyad and a Force, so because he told Rey to take 2 different lightsabers.
Right.
So while Ben is getting the beat up, she tosses him one of the sabers, which is awesome. How awesome is that?
From behind her back.
From behind her back.
But she could feel that he was getting beat up, so she knew something was wrong. She felt it in the Force. So the Force actually sent him the lightsaber so he could actually beat everybody up with the lightsaber.
Yeah, so that was really awesome how she just sent that to them.
Yes, it was.
So, and then she is taking out all the other guards, the other Sith guards that are troopers that are around her. And they end up together.
Yep. And
Palpatine says, "You 2 could stand together, you 2 could die together."
That's right.
So he starts zapping them. He's very powerful. He's pulling the life force out of him, and it's eating his hands away because he finds out that they're a dyad.
Right.
In the Force, which is really cool. He even acknowledges probably since the Knights of the Old Republic that hasn't happened. So now we have part of the Knights of the Old Republic talked about in The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know if you guys picked up on that as well. So now Darth Revan and all that's going to be canon, and that's awesome. Yep. And hopefully we do get a Knights of the Old Republic movie series, because that's going to be a lot like Game of Thrones. That would be awesome.
Yes.
And then after they fall down, he picks Ben back up and says, "I'm going to do the last Skywalker, what was done to me," and he throws Ben down. Way down
over a thing, and he somehow survives and back up.
He does. He does come back up. That's true. He does survive and come back up. In the meantime, as Rey is on the ground, she starts trying to talk to the Jedi again. She starts saying to them, "Come to me, come to me," and that's what I said at the beginning of the podcast. You actually see Yeah, we do love the evil Rey too. I like that for a moment.
For a
She's
moment,
confronted by the evil Rey, and she doesn't go down that path,
which is a good one.
which is awesome. But as they're talking, we hear all the Jedi voices, 1,000. You don't hear all 1,000 of them.
No,
let's not get crazy.
You hear the most important ones out of that one.
Yes, you hear a lot of them. I think you hear almost all of them. You hear Mace Windu. You hear, Ahsoka Tano, and on all of them you hear Yoda telling her to get up, and it's just really.
You hear Leia talking to her.
Right.
What you hear the most though is Luke talking to her, telling her what.
I thought I heard Yoda more, but. Yeah.
Oh, I think it was Luke who told her to get her butt up.
Yes, all of them. Yeah, all of them were. But Luke, yeah, you're right. Luke was doing a lot of it as well. Yeah. So she gets up, and she puts both lightsabers in. She says, "I have 1,000 Jedi behind me." Ah, yes, you have 1,000 Jedi behind you, Rey. So that explains a lot. That's why Rey knew so much, right? That's why she was so. Stop the Mary Sue stuff, guys.
Right. Yes.
Stop it, okay? I don't like it. It's divisive. Stop it, okay? Right. She was so powerful because she was a Palpatine this entire time.
Yep.
Think about that for a moment. Stop calling her Mary Sue.
She was a Jedi Palpatine.
Yeah, very, 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 very powerful.
Yes, even more powerful than her grandfather. She
sure was. She was, especially because she had 1,000 Jedi behind her.
Plus, she had both lightsabers too at the end.
She did.
That didn't help.
It sure did. So she finishes off Palpatine, and then she dies. She literally dies, guys. Yes, Rey dies. Ben finally crawls back up, like Captain Rickster mentioned, and because they're dyads, he spares himself. He gives his life for Rey.
Right. And
gives her back. He heals her and wakes her up at that moment before he dies with all his force gone.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They have that nice little embrace and kiss. And
then he goes
and
away.
she admits that she always wanted to hold Ben's hand.
Yep. And she did.
Yeah. Yep.
And she held it, and he disappeared like everybody else did. After the fall of everybody else was gone.
How many people noticed this? Two things. Number one, when Ben disappeared, Leia disappeared at the same time.
That's right.
That was obvious.
That was definitely obvious.
But did you also notice that his scar was gone?
Yes. I noticed his scar was gone because she healed him.
When she healed him earlier, after she stabbed him, when we saw him later, his scar was gone. His scar wasn't there anyway.
Completely gone. Yep.
So, 5-star. 5-star rating, guys.
Yeah, most definitely a 5-star rating.
So that's The Rise of Skywalker. That's our review. That's our discussion about it. Now, let's talk about The Mandalorian. Chapter 8, Redemption. Who saw Chapter 8? Who saw it?
I did.
I know you did. Captain Rickster. Of course you saw.
I got to put my 2 cents worth in.
It's only worth 2 cents?
Well, you never know. I don't think anybody ever have a penny for it, but you know.
Okay. Well, I think it's worth more than 2 cents, Captain Rickster.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, now we're going to talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 8, Redemption.
Right.
It is the series finale of The Mandalorian, so we don't have anything else until next year, which I'm sad about.
Yeah, really.
I can't, we got to wait an entire year for this. Come on, guys.
Yeah. The season was too short. Make it a little longer this next time.
Have you guys noticed that all these seasons now are only 8 episodes and 10 episodes? Remember when Friends was 24 and 26 episodes, and even the old Star Trek series was 24 and 26 episodes? Remember that?
Yeah, they don't make TV shows like they used to anymore, which is really bad. So, you can't really sit back and enjoy them except if you go watch a rerun all the time on stream when you stream them. That's the only way you're going to be able to see them is now.
I feel cheated. I feel cheated.
Well, of course we don't feel cheated. Even I feel cheated on that one. It's such a great series and stuff, so, they need to make it longer, like I said.
They do, but we got what we got, and the good news is next year. Is it next year or the year after? We're getting a Cassian Andor series based on Rogue One.
That should be, I think, 2021.
Okay, we got that, and we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi series with Ewan McGregor.
Well, that's coming out this next year. I mean, it's coming out this next year.
When is it coming out?
Summertime, if I remember right. Someone said, rumor.
Okay. Well, we need to check on that, guys, and we'll let you know when those are coming out. We'll post it.
Right.
Speaking of that, before we jump into the Mandalorian, we do have some announcements. Starting in 2020, let's go ahead and talk about all the events that we're going to so far, Captain Rickster.
Right.
Okay, so starting in January, we're going to be at Pasadena Comic Con.
That's right.
Which is coming up here. I believe it's on a Sunday. It is the 17th.
Right.
We're also going to be, since I'm making an appearance at Pensacon in Florida, in Pensacola,
yep.
We're going to cover that event as well.
Yes, we are.
That is February 28th through March 1st.
Right.
Also in the works, I might be doing an appearance in Sweden in Stockholm at the end of March, around March 8th to 18th or something, 19th.
Yeah.
It's still not for sure, but I want to bring it up. After that, we have WonderCon.
Right.
In April, I believe.
Yes.
Then we have San Diego Comic Con.
In August.
And at the end of July, beginning of August.
Right.
In August, we have Star Wars Celebration.
That's right. Coming back again for us.
So we're going to cover that in August. After that, in September, October, I think it's September this year, not October, we have LA Comic Con. We're going to cover that again.
That's right. September.
Then next November, we have Designer Con again.
That's right.
So we have a really big year.
Yep, we do.
So that is all on our plate for next year. So expect All for Sci-Fi to be live at all events. We're also going to be streaming live at all these events. So you guys could watch our walkthroughs, so we could show you guys everything. It'd be like you're there, guys. So if you haven't done it already, please give this video a thumbs up. Like this video, and also if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel below if you're watching this. And hit the notification bell so you know when we go live at all these events in 2020. You also know when we do our live stream, because as we mentioned, we're going to move everything to Saturday.
Right.
We're going to be doing our Galaxy's Edge weekly podcast on Saturday and our podcast at Galaxy's Edge.
That's right.
So we're going to do both in the same day to, I hate to say phrases like kill two birds with
one stone.
Yeah, so cliche.
I know it's cliche, but it's full time. And it's, it fits the moment.
Okay, thank you for accepting that.
I do accept it. Well, how can you say there's something else?
Don't start that.
Oh, I want to drink it, but I got to remember it's PG.
I don't know what that character is, Rickster, but I don't think anybody thinks it's funny.
How do you know? No one said nothing yet about it.
Okay, well, if you guys think it's funny, let us know, okay, in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we all need some humor, that's for sure.
What do you think? I'm your sidekick. What do you think I'm here for? My looks? I ain't gonna go nowhere.
That was the funniest thing you said all day. What do you think I'm here for? My looks?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Oh, let's not bag on my friend there. Okay, let's stop.
Oh, they will.
Okay. Hey, how do you guys like our new setup, by the way? Do you like this now? Do you guys like what we're doing here with the cameras going back and forth? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like Rick's face too, let us know.
Yeah, that's true. We're eventually going to start our own fan page here in the future.
You do. You do have one. We've been talking about that since we started this podcast. You got your comic book stuff.
Yeah.
So let's do this, Captain Rickster. Make a promise. Give us a date, please. When is Comic Mania happening? Give us a date. Go ahead.
I can't give a date because I don't want to break a date. So I'll let you know probably in a couple more weeks what's going to happen when after the first year comes.
Well, if you don't decide pretty soon, I'm going to put that Sith trooper and Kylo Ren right next to you, and I'm going to have them take out the lightsaber and stab you.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Go like this.
Yeah,
stab him.
Yeah, stab me. That's good. Yeah. See.
Yeah. Or we're gonna have we're gonna take the Mandalorian, and he's gonna take his phase holster and shoot you. Pew, 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 pew. Okay, enough of that.
Enough of that. I'm not a stormtrooper.
We've had enough fun for today on this episode. Okay, so you guys know everything that's going on in 2020. But I had to make the quick announcements. Let's jump into the Mandalorian. Yay! Let's do this here. So, Chapter 8 of the Mandalorian. Okay, guys. First, we're going to give the review again at All for Sci-Fi. Before we get into spoilers, let's go ahead and give the overall rating. Chapter 8, Redemption. At All for Sci-Fi, as you know, it's 0 to 5 stars. If it's 3 or below, you don't go. In this case, you don't need to stream it.
Right.
Chapter 8, the series finale of The Mandalorian gets 5 stars.
And I'll agree with you on that one again.
What the heck is going on
You
here?
know how that goes. I got to agree with you on something once in a while. I can't always, not disagree with you.
Okay, this episode was one of the best. If I'm gonna say it's probably, if it's not the best, it's tied for the pilot for sure.
For sure.
It definitely really took it a lot of different places for me as an episode. It was really shocking everything that we found out. Let's go ahead and talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen The Mandalorian Chapter 8, go ahead and pause this. Before you pause it, let me give you the rating for the entire series. I went and looked at, so far we've given 5 stars out of the 8 episodes. So half of them I've given 5 stars to. Let me give the overall rating for the entire season 1. I'm actually changing episode 2. I only gave it 4 stars. I'm upping that to 4.5 stars. I've decided to let it go that I was so upset about the continuity problems. It's a really great episode. It deserves to be 4.5 stars, not 4. So by moving that up, the entire rating, the entire season for The Mandalorian gets, if you do the math, 4 of them had 5 stars. One of them had 4.5 stars. Another one had 4.75 stars. Another one had 4.5. Anyway, the math came to the entire series got 4.75 stars. So season 1 is in the books.
Yes, it is.
And it ended at 4.75 stars.
Right.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's close to a 5, but half of them got 5 stars. We got to have some. Keep something, right? We can't give everything 5 stars.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this episode. So in this episode, it takes place right after the other one happened, where they're trapped. They're surrounded by the Death Troopers and Moff Gideon. They're trapped, and now they have the baby because one of the biker scouts shot and killed Quill and scooped up the baby. So we see they're trapped, and then it cuts to the biker scouts, and they have the baby, the child. They have the child inside a little knapsack, a brown one, and it keeps trying to get out and make noise, and they keep hitting the baby. They keep hitting the kid. What the heck? Yeah. I wanted to jump up and I wanted to just I want to break my screen. It made me so upset to see that they kept hitting that kid and abusing it.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I was so mad. You don't understand. And, they pretty much lived up to stormtroopers because as they're sitting there waiting, and they provided the humor this time.
Yes, they did. It was kind of funny, but.
And as they were doing it, the back and forth, they were trying to do target practice, and they couldn't hit something that was 5 feet in front of them.
I know, that was really bad. I mean, really, stormtroopers are supposed to hit the thing on the mark, not miss what they're trying to shoot at.
we know why they say they can't hit a paper bag, those stormtroopers.
Right, yeah. Those guys, geez, they couldn't hit nothing.
Yeah.
They couldn't get inside of the barn even. Right.
Yeah, and every time they hit that kid, man, I wanted that kid to destroy them because he's got the Force. He's a Yoda or whatever. Okay, so when they go back to them stranded, Moff Gideon gives us a lot of information about everybody.
That's right.
He tells us that he names everybody that's in there. He knows everybody that's in there. He names, Cara Dune. By the way, Cara Dune has a middle name. It's Cynthia.
That's right.
And he says it's Cara Cynthia Dune of Alderaan.
That's right. And no wonder why she hates the Empire.
Yeah, she hates the Empire because they destroyed her planet.
That's right.
So
And New Hope, which is really, not the best thing to do in the world. Take off anybody.
So it makes me wonder how old she must have been. A really young kid, maybe even a baby.
She had to be.
When
Be someplace else.
yeah. So and they name they get the Mandalorian. I had heard his name before. I think in a newspaper article or something, but he says Din Djarin. So we know the Mandalorian's name is Din Djarin,
right?
And he's from Mandalore. And we also find out that he's not Mandalorian.
That's true.
So just like Boba Fett and Jango Fett, although he's taken the creed, so he is. We find out that you don't have to be born Mandalorian to be a Mandalorian.
That's true.
All you have to do is take the creed.
That's it. That's it. All you had to do.
And he took the creed, so he became Mandalorian. He put the helmet on, and as they're okay. So what happens is, well, of course, IG-11 shows up, and when he beat up those stormtroopers for hitting that, well, he didn't know they hit the kid, probably.
No, he didn't know. I don't think so.
But we got revenge. I was so happy. So happy when he was knocking that stormtrooper.
And then he killed both of them. It's even better.
Yeah, when he was just knocking them. Oh yeah, way to go, IG-11.
Yeah.
By the way, this episode, Captain Rickster, was directed by the guy who plays IG-11.
Oh really?
I cannot pronounce his name. It's Takiti Watiti.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember,
It's like a Hawaiian name, but he directed it, which was cool.
Which was cool, yes. He did
So
a great job on
he did, and it was great to see that he directed it. So good job on directing the season finale. So he after he does that, he hops on one of the speeder bikes. He goes into the village. He's shooting his way in. He shoots his way in basically past all the blockade and everything. And then they try to escape with him, shooting their way out. They can't. They retreat back in there, and Din Djarin, the Mando, is injured.
Yes.
He's hit in the head from Moff Gideon shooting at him. He's the only one that could actually shoot.
Yeah, really, and hit the target. Rest of them couldn't hit anything.
Right, so he hits them, and while they're doing that, before all this happened, they discovered an underground cave, which actually the Mandalorians use for their covert.
That's right.
And because the IG-11 is there, he's able to use it like what's that call it? His laser, and he cuts it open and pulls it open so they could go down underneath into the caves. And before they leave to go down, the Mando stays there and says he's going to give his life and everything, and tells him to go ahead and leave with the kid.
Right.
And while he's sitting there with the IG-11, he says, "Let me take your helmet off. Let me treat you."
Before you get any further than that, you're forgetting something.
What?
What the baby did to that stormtrooper.
What did he do?
Don't you remember the guy that had all the fire?
I don't remember. Tell me.
Came in there and he was with that force field and he burnt that guy up.
When was this?
This is while they were in there arguing about if he's gonna live or die. Don't you remember?
I don't remember it, bro. I know he did it, but I don't remember where he did that.
Yeah, he did it though. I mean, I watched it twice.
So okay.
Just to make sure.
Well, so the baby basically helps as well with the fire. I remember that scene, but I didn't remember where it was placed. I was gonna say it later, but thanks for correcting me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, here we go. So as they're waiting, they leave, and the Mandalorian's dying, and the IG-11 wants to take his helmet off and treat him. He says, "I can't do this. It's my creed. I just shoot me, kill me, let me die a warrior's death." And he said, the IG says something to the Mandalorian that lets him treat him. He says, I could take your helmet off. You still are keeping your creed because I'm not a living human being.
Right.
So
that's definitely true.
So that convinces him to allow him to take off the helmet, and he's able to use a treatment thing and treat him, and he puts the helmet back on. So they join them down inside the underground, underneath the city, the sewer system, And as they're traveling, they end up showing back up to and seeing that where are all the Mandalorians? All their helmets are there. Like, did they murder all of them?
Yeah.
And the armorer shows up. The lady who makes all the Mandalorian armor. She tells them they've already all left. Why she's there, she explains to the Mandalorian that he's now the child's father.
That's right.
And it's his duty to take care of the child until he can reunite the child with his home world and his species. And so he's now the father, and it's his duty under their creed to do that. And she gives the Mandalorian his own signet finally.
Yes.
It's a signet of 2. She puts it on his shoulder, which is great. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's a signet of 2, and then they go ahead and leave, and they keep going. She tells them to take the route where the lava flow goes, so they go downstairs, and there's a boat for them to leave with the lava, and there's a astromech droid there who runs it. And wasn't that cool the way he stood up on the astromech had legs and arms?
Right.
Was that awesome or what?
That was awesome. Especially after you got all the rock off of him. You know, I mean, he had to, before you could stand up, he had to break loose all the rocks and stuff that he could actually stand up and actually row the boat like he was supposed to.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
That was just awesome the way and so I can't wait to have that. I can't wait till that toy comes out.
Oh, yes.
Where it stands up and has arms. That's cool. So as they're traveling to exit with the lava flow, they see that there's a whole platoon of stormtroopers outside waiting for them.
That's right.
So here the most tearful part of The Mandalorian happens. The IG-11 wants to sacrifice himself, and he tells the Mando that he still has that thing where he can't get captured, so he has to self-destruct. So the IG-11 goes into the lava, goes out, and as they're trying to fire on him, he self-destructs, blows up all of them. So the IG-11 gave his life to save the child and everybody else.
That's right. That was awesome. But kind of sad too. I kind of like that character.
IG-11, I love him.
I did too, but it's too bad he had to go ahead and self-destruct and then blow himself up and everybody else. Well, I'm glad he blew himself up with and everybody else along with it. Otherwise, it'd been a long battle and everybody probably would have been dead.
Everybody would have been dead. And coming back to YouTube on live, Virginia says she cried at that scene.
Yeah.
It was a great.
It was a sad moment. It was definitely a sad moment there, Virginia.
It was. He's definitely a great character. I hope they could find some way to resurrect him somehow. But it's okay if it doesn't. People die in Star Wars, and they create new characters.
That's definitely true.
So the second season, I've already seen that they might have a Gamorrean guard. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. No.
Yeah, they were. Jon Favreau actually posted on Twitter. If you guys want to check that out, he posted. To me, it looks like a ripped Gamorrean guard, but it might not even be a Gamorrean guard, but it looks like one to me.
Hope it's Dominic Pace.
Speaking of that, it was great meeting Dominic Pace. You are a gentleman, Dominic.
And a scholar.
You are great. By the way, guys, guess what? We did interviews, and we got interviews while we were in Dallas, and we interviewed Dominic Pace. So in the next few weeks, we're going to actually have our interview. It's going to be up on YouTube and Facebook. So we took about 20, 30 minutes. We had a great interview with Dominic. Yeah. And Dominic has he has quite a story. He really does. His career, he's done, he's getting recognition now, but he's been over in 100 movies and television shows.
Right.
Which is just incredible. I mean, he was even on Superstore. He did an episode. He's a recurring character on Superstore. He plays the warehouse manager.
Yes.
He's done a lot of stuff. He's been around for a while, but he's just a great guy. Mm-hmm. Also, while we were there, we interviewed Mike Quinn.
That was cool.
So we did a really great interview with Mike Quinn, who plays Nine Numb. We talked a lot about the Rise of Skywalker and other characters he played that he actually did, and that's coming as well in a few weeks or a month. So I want to get, I promised Mike that I wouldn't play it right away because we talked a lot about the making of the Rise of Skywalker, and it's going to be fun to share with you guys all that footage. So back to what we were saying, okay, so the season ends with okay, so they get out, but it's not over yet.
No, it's not.
Moff Gideon shows up in a TIE fighter.
Yep. Here's
And
TIE fighter.
it is, and it's a cool TIE fighter. It's quite different. It has a different wings thing.
Yeah, it does.
So he shows up in his TIE fighter, and oh, I left something out, and I did this last time when I did the review.
Right.
The armorer gives the Mandalorian Din Djarin not only a signet, but she gives him a jetpack.
Right.
Which is cool.
Which is really cool.
And she says the jetpack will learn to react with your movements, and you become like one with it. And he learned pretty quick how to operate that.
Real quick.
So it just goes to show you he should have had one the entire time.
Yes, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. And coming back to YouTube, Virginia loves how Mike Quinn does his autograph. Yes.
Yes,
he does it. He does it special. So no, because he's had problems, Virginia, in the past, people stealing his autograph and faking it.
That's right.
So he does it a special way so everybody knows it's authentic. And yeah, Mike Quinn, Mark Dotson's cool. Yeah, so all of them, yeah, are cool. We love everybody there, and we love our Order 66 crew as well.
That's right.
So we're gonna have those interviews coming up. So anyway, Moff Gideon shows up and is firing on him. So he uses the jetpack to go after him, and he shoots at him so that he attaches himself to it, and he comes up on top of the ship, and he's trying to break in, and he's way up in the air, and it's this intense scene.
Yes.
It's really a great scene. And he ends up not being able to get in, but he ends up disabling the TIE fighter and flying back down to the ground. And the episode basically ends, but it ends with a cliffhanger again.
Yes, it does.
And we get the best Easter egg of the entire season.
Is that right?
It is by far the best Easter egg. We go back to Moff Gideon's ship, and he's not dead. And you see the black saber of Mandalore cutting it open. So that awesome saber. Yeah. Oh, love the black saber of Mandalore. Why does Moff Gideon have it? Why? What do you think, guys? Chime in.
Well, I think he won in a battle over there where he stole it from the people from Mandalore. That's what I think. That's the only way I think he can get it.
You don't think that it's because he has some sort of abilities? You think he's force sensitive?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, okay. But maybe I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, I think maybe he is force sensitive, but we'll see. Season 2, guys. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
I'm sad we have to wait. Why do we have to wait till November? This year it came out in October when Disney Plus started, but now we got to wait till November.
Really? That's too long to wait. They should come bring it out in the summertime. That's when they should bring it out. Not in November. What, around Thanksgiving? Nah, that ain't cool.
No, it isn't. And if it's the all new TV shows, series, they start in September usually on TV.
They usually do, yes.
And October was okay, it's a few weeks later. Usually they start at the end of September, so they're not at the beginning of September.
That's right.
Right? So it's okay if it's at the beginning of October. They need a little extra time. But we got to wait till November, guys, unless they change it.
Right.
So
now if they're adding more episodes to it, instead of 8, we're going to have 10 or 12. That'd be okay. But I don't know. I mean, they've already got some of it shot already, but how much more do they have left to do to shoot? I mean, hopefully it's not a whole lot, that we can get it out here soon.
Well, yeah, good point. But waiting, I hope that next season, take note, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, more than 8 episodes, please. Yes, even the Game of Thrones, and at first there were more episodes. They didn't do that until like the last 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, to finish it off.
Yeah. Okay, so the season, and by the way, John, if you're watching this, Dave, if you're watching this, Deborah Chow, if you somehow come across this, anybody that's directing it, if you want the original Mace Tawani, myself, to make an appearance, doing anything, even voiceover work, I'm here. Contact me.
Yes, he is.
I don't mind coming back and doing something. That way the fans would probably love it. If Mace came back on board somehow and did something. It doesn't have to be Mace Tawani. I could do something else. I could wear a stormtrooper thing and not know how to shoot.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Although I have to practice real hard to miss a beanbag 2 feet in front of me.
That's true. even I'll come back to Stormtrooper for you guys. I can miss a lot of things too.
Yeah. Yeah, but anything, I'm not crying for a part, guys. But I would love to do music, even if you want me to write a song for your series. Music is my passion, as everybody knows.
Yes.
Or any voiceover work, or if you want me to write a song, I think I'm gonna write a song for the Mandalorian and submit it to you guys anyway. I started working on one. I think I played it for you, Captain Rickster.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
Yeah, but
it was actually really good.
Yeah, but yeah. So maybe I'll finish that up and call it the Mandalorian song. Coming back to Facebook Live, we're not Facebook, we're on YouTube today, and we're going to start going to YouTube, guys. So get used to this format. We're doing something new because we want to reach more viewers. That's the only way to do it is to do it on YouTube. Bob, have you heard about Darth Maul Disney Plus? I saw something posted.
Well, it's a rumor right at the moment.
I heard something about Darth Maul might end up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I heard something about a Darth Vader series.
Yeah, I've heard
that. I heard about
Darth Vader too.
Right, that I heard about, and then I also heard a rumor about a Luke Skywalker series, which I don't think is a good idea.
No.
Let's let the Skywalkers. We're done with that.
Let them be resting right now in peace.
Yeah. So if they're thinking that, I don't think that's a good idea. But if they want to do a Darth Vader series, or even a Boba Fett series, would be awesome.
Right.
We all love Boba Fett.
Yes, we do. He was actually even a Wookiee series would be nice also, because everybody likes Chewbacca.
I think a Wookiee series or a new Ewok series.
That would be good.
With Ewoks would be great.
Yep.
So anything like that I would be down for. I think would be good. Right now we have a lot to be thankful for because we do have the Cassian Andor series based on Rogue One. We have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So we have two of them that we know is coming, and then we have the Mandalorian. And then we know in 2022 they're going to take a break here for a couple years, but we're going to get a new trilogy in 2022. And there's going to be a big announcement. I'm telling you guys about it now, but sometime in January, there's going to be a big announcement that might shake up the Star Wars universe. I'm not going to talk about it now. I know what it is. I'm not sharing it. You guys will see it. But mark my words, it's either going to be in January or February, but I think it's in January. They got to decide. But it's going to be a big shakeup, and it's going to take Star Wars in a new direction. But guys, thank you for staying with us for the last hour or so. It's actually the stream says we've been streaming for 76 minutes, man. So thank you guys for staying with us this entire time. I really hope you guys like this new format. Yeah. What do you think?
I hope they do, because it's really nice.
Yeah, and it feels better. It feels more natural. I have a few cameras. It feels more like technical. We're gonna get better the more we do it. The lip sync hopefully will get better as well. But thank you guys for joining us. I want to say thank you again to Order 66 Toys, our sponsor, the Community of Star Wars Collectors, also the Live Place for actually sharing our schedule. And we love all you guys. Thank you very much. As always, when we finish our podcast, we always remind everybody to do something nice for somebody this week. Yep. Please, no matter what it is, whether it's mowing a neighbor's lawn who's sick, carrying someone's groceries who's frail, be nice to each other. Let's not tear each other down. And, like my dad always told me, what are you going to do today, son? What are you going to do? I would always say 10 or 15 other things, and it took me forever to get to the point.
Yeah, it really is.
Maybe because,
you want to acknowledge it?
It's not that I want to acknowledge it, but when it comes to your parents, you know how that is.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to them.
But now as an adult, I realize, it took me a long time because I was pretty immature. But now as an adult, I realize I should have said it right away. And my dad always, when I got to the point, the last thing I had to say is, what I was going to do today was be a nice guy.
That's right.
Be a nice guy today, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today on All for Sci-Fi. I'm Eric Walker.
And I am Captain Rickster.
Everybody have a great year. This is our last podcast for 2019. Happy New Year, everybody.
Have a safe weekend coming up.
Yep.
And also have a great day on New Year's Day.
That you do. And take an Uber or a Lyft if you need to drink. Have fun.
That's right.
But don't drink and drive. And everybody, as they say at the Black Spire Outpost, till the spires. May the spires keep you, and may the force be with you. That's